Alexander was born in 356 BCE in Pella, the capital of Macedonia. His father, King Philip II, had transformed Macedonia from a fractured kingdom into a dominant power in the Greek world. His mother, Olympias, was strong-willed and deeply spiritual. She told Alexander from a young age that he was destined for greatness, even claiming he was descended from Achilles. Alexander's education was shaped by one of the greatest minds of the time, Aristotle. Under his guidance, Alexander studied science, philosophy, politics, and literature. But this was no ordinary student. From an early age, Alexander wasn't just interested in knowledge. He was focused on power. He idolized heroes like Achilles and sought not only to read about legends, but to become one himself. At just 16, he was left in charge of Macedonia while Philip was at war. During this time, he put down a rebellion and founded his first city, Alexandropolis. 2 years later, he proved himself in battle at Chaeronea, where he led a cavalry charge that helped defeat the combined armies of Athens and Thebes. But everything changed in 336 BCE. During a wedding celebration, Philip was assassinated. The killer was one of his own bodyguards. The motive was unclear, and rumors of conspiracy swirled, but the result was certain. Alexander became king at the age of 20. Immediately, he was tested. Several Greek city-states rebelled, thinking the young king would be weak. Alexander responded quickly. He marched south, demanded submission, and when Thebes resisted, he destroyed the city, killing thousands and selling the survivors into slavery. No one challenged him again. With Greece under control, he turned to his father's old plan, the invasion of the Persian Empire, the largest and wealthiest empire in the world. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed the Hellespont with about 40,000 troops. He left Greece behind and stepped into Asia. His first major test came at the Battle of Granicus, where he faced a Persian army on the riverbanks. Against advice, he led a direct charge across the river, nearly died in the fight, but won the battle. It was his first victory, and it would not be his last. He moved through Asia Minor, liberating Greek cities under Persian control. Then, in 333 BCE, he met the Persian king Darius III at the Battle of Issus. Though badly outnumbered, Alexander used tight formations and fast cavalry movements to split the Persian army. Darius fled, leaving behind his wife, mother, and children. Alexander treated them with respect, which earned him admiration, even from his enemies. He continued south, besieging the heavily fortified island city of Tyre. The siege took 7 months and involved building a massive causeway into the sea. When the city finally fell, Alexander was brutal. He killed thousands and sold the rest into slavery. Then he marched into Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator. He founded a new city, Alexandria, that would later become one of the most important in the ancient world. The Egyptians crowned him pharaoh, and at the Oracle of Siwa, priests reportedly told him he was the son of Zeus. In 331 BCE, he met Darius again at the Battle of Gaugamela, a massive clash in what is now Iraq. Darius brought a huge army, including war chariots and elephants, but Alexander's forces were disciplined and well-trained. With a well-timed cavalry strike, he broke through Persian lines. Darius fled again. Alexander pursued, but never caught him. The Persian king was later killed by one of his own satraps. With Darius dead, Alexander declared himself king of Asia. He entered Babylon and then Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of Persia. There, in a symbolic act, he ordered the city's grand palace to be burned. Some say in revenge for the Persian destruction of Athens. Others believe it was a drunken mistake. Either way, it marked the end of Persian rule. But Alexander wasn't finished. He pushed east into Central Asia, facing tough resistance from local rulers and guerrilla fighters. He adopted elements of Persian dress and customs to win support, which unsettled many of his Macedonian officers. In one incident, he killed his close friend Clitus during a drunken argument, a moment that haunted him for the rest of his life. In 327 BCE, he crossed into India. He married Roxana, a local noblewoman, to secure an alliance. At the Battle of the Hydaspes River, he faced King Porus, a strong and respected ruler with war elephants. The fighting was intense, and Alexander's army suffered heavy losses. But they won. Impressed by Porus's bravery, Alexander let him remain as ruler under Macedonian control. After this victory, Alexander wanted to keep going east. But his troops had had enough. They had marched for years, thousands of miles from home. Morale was low. The terrain ahead was unknown. After days of silence, his officers begged him to turn back. Reluctantly, Alexander agreed. The return journey was brutal. Instead of taking a safer route, he led part of his army through the Gedrosian Desert, one of the harshest in the world. Thousands of soldiers died from heat, thirst, and exhaustion. It was one of the worst decisions he ever made. In 324 BCE, he returned to Babylon. There he began planning new campaigns, possibly into Arabia or even further west. But his health began to fail. In June 323 BCE, after a fever that lasted several days, Alexander died. He was 32 years old. The cause of his death remains uncertain. Some say it was malaria or typhoid, others suggest poisoning, though there's no clear evidence. He left no clear heir. His only son was born after his death and was later killed during the power struggles that followed. After Alexander's death, his generals, known as the Diadochi, fought for control of the empire. Within a few decades, his unified empire was split into several competing kingdoms. But the impact of his conquests lasted for centuries. He spread Greek language, culture, and influence across 3 continents. The cities he founded, especially Alexandria in Egypt, became centers of learning and trade. Alexander changed the course of history not just by conquering, but by blending cultures, Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian. He wasn't just a general. He was a builder, a unifier, and a symbol of ambition. Even centuries later, people looked back on Alexander as a model of greatness. His life was short, but his name never faded.